Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HGN. And now here, I might as well talk about a couple things about something in particular that I've pretty much had for some time. If you haven't already noticed, then well, I might as well talk about a few things about this problem that I've had. Because, after all, if you're not familiar with YouTube's rules based on copyrighted material, then well, I might as well explain a few things about it. There have been some occasions where I have been branded with copyright notices and even strikes, as far as my knowledge goes. But I've never gotten to a point where my chance for monetization would pretty much be completely destroyed. Unlike what's happened back then. Because after all, before my channel was pretty much given my own access one more time, back in late 2016, I might as well say real quick that, well, I may have said it many times before, but just in case you haven't heard of, then well, I've had a YouTube channel before I ended up going in to try and regain access to my account one more time, and well, I was pretty much successful by the time it happened, but not before I had to shut down another channel that I usually had as a backup. Because I pretty much knew that something was going to happen to the other one here, which is this one, by the way. This one was pretty much locked out of my own access because I was naive enough to think that nothing as serious as a police visit by 5 cops in North Middle School in January 2013 could ever happen. How stupid was I back then? But you know what? 7.5 years later, I've grown up out of that mess. I'm doing a whole lot better on YouTube than I ever have in my whole life. And I'm going to make sure that I do as good of a job here as possible. But basically, the reason why that other channel of mine, that backup one, if you will, had been, well, deactivated once and for all, was because of continuous copyright strikes and issues that even though I was able to reconcile with, and even though I was able to pretty much remove everything copyrighted off that channel, it did not stop YouTube and Google themselves from completely destroying my monetization opportunity. They basically branded me with the message saying, your channel is not eligible for monetization because of community and or copyright issues. And you know what? That's pretty much where I drew the line, because by August 29th of 2016 was when I just completely deleted that channel once and for all. So no material on there is ever going to be visible. As with every other social media post, once it's deleted, it can never be recovered. No way ever. Try and prove me wrong if you will. But chances are you'll be more wrong than ever now. Than you could have before. Because we are in a different society today compared to how we were 20 years ago. Well, anyways, I might as well say firsthand that royalties themselves, yeah, I know, it took me a while to pretty much get to the point here. Ergo, the title of this episode is known as Honest J. Nowak Royalties. Because after all, that's kind of just a slang term referring to copyrighted material, if you will. The royalties, or copyright ownership, or licensing, there's tons of synonymous terminology that pretty much coincides with this subject itself. But in general, that pretty much goes to show that anyone who creates something and puts it out there for the world to see basically owns the content, and therefore they have the royalty, the licensing rights, the permission to pretty much have it by themselves. Anyone else who tries to copy it pretty much gets slapped in the face with a copyright strike, or even worse. I was very naive enough to think that nothing that serious could ever happen either. Again, it was pretty stupid of me, a 14-year-old at the time in 2013, to pretty much think that none of those things could ever happen. But you know what? Once again, 7 years of pretty much taking it in, getting used to it, I've been able to do a lot better here on YouTube. Though I might as well be very honest about people here, about one particular royalty that got in the way. There was a vlog that I basically uploaded last month because Nerf Secret Reveal Bolts of Intrigue Part 1 Re-Release Edition, which was first uploaded to my channel back in May of 2020, had been slapped by a copyright notice. And I actually looked into it, and I am not making this up. But apparently, a title known as Glock Pop, which was released on July 11th of 2020, apparently was in there. I mean, come on! I released that film in May, 2 months before you released your song. So I pretty much should be the one to give you the copyright strike. That should be me doing that, not you. It probably could have just been some mislead or misfire of a copyright strike against someone like myself, because after all, I've been using only royalty-free tracks provided by YouTube themselves, especially for these feature film projects that I've been doing the last 10 years. And might I say that there's a lot to it that I ever have known. But you know what? That's totally fine, because I was able to remove it. Have the original file downloaded before I did that, though. Simply remove that title, and then just have it replaced with another royalty-free track, and then I was good to go, once and for all. Hopefully another strike does not get planted on that, but if it does, who knows? Who knows what will happen? Well, anyways, that's pretty much it, what I got to talk about based on royalties as a whole, and there's probably going to be a lot of other things that I might as well talk about pretty soon, but if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.